5 developers are making one video game, but we're not allowed to communicate. Each of us gets a handful of hours to work on the project before passing it to the next person who can tweak, improve, or completely sabotage everything we've done. You might have seen similar pass the game challenges before. This time, we made it even worse for ourselves by doing it during one of the biggest online game making events, with only 3 days to finish a playable game.
It's not enough time!
We had no idea what kind of monster would come out of this, but the twists the game took were honestly wild. Without further ado, I was the first developer to touch the project. The theme for this jam was Signal. I only had about 5 hours before I had to pass the project on, so I needed a clear idea and a rough but readable foundation for the others. I decided on a top-down game where your weapon only works if you're in a range of a signal source. Move away from the signal and your fire rate and reload speed get worse. Stay close and you're strong. To support that, I quickly hacked together a basic player controller, a generic signal source component that affects your weapon stats based on distance, some simple radial level layouts with circular arenas, and an exit in the center, so later we could do cool zoom-in transitions between levels. And I thought circular levels could introduce some interesting level design ideas. I tried to get as many core systems in as possible so other devs could see the vision and decide what to keep, improve, or replace. That meant most of what I built here was very half-baked. I didn't fully finish the radial levels or the transitions, because I switched over to enemies. If they had a player, a signal system, and at least one enemy type, the next devs could immediately understand,
Okay, this is a top-down signal-based shooter.
instead of staring at an empty prototype. I started writing enemy AI and I fell into the local avoidance rabbit hole right away. By the time my 5 hours were up, the AI was a mess, the code was rough, but the core idea was there. Top-down shooter, signal sources, circular levels, and one very confused enemy.
So I'm the second to get the project right after Brainoid started working on it at 2 AM, sleep deprived, rushing to get a semblance of an idea out, so you can imagine how much cleanup there was to do. So after some brief struggles trying to understand what the game was even supposed to be, I cleaned up the scene into some proper level prefabs, organized a bit better the game manager logic, and fixed some bugs with the object pulling system. Now it was time to decide in which direction to take the game further in. I decided to focus on the team most of all, and expand on the idea of the signal mechanic Brainoid left behind. I turned the signal senders and receivers into proper classes, made it so any object could receive the signal and not just the player weapon. Polished up the enemies so they are deadlier the better the signal strength they have, polished up the player weapon so it feels better to shoot alongside the signal mechanic, and to top it all off, during my exhaustion, I made a dumbass level while my exhaustion was setting in. So I hope the boys that come after me can appreciate all the cleanup I did, and hope to God that Mark, the one that comes next, doesn't break the project too much.
What about me? What about me?
Boats got sick and really busy, so I had to fill in for his part of the video. He actually had 3 separate shifts between hours, and he used all of them on art. He went into this challenge wanting to learn Blender, so naturally he started with the holy grail of Blender tutorials, the donut. I like to imagine he spent half his shift perfecting sprinkles before touching our game. Once he had mastered the ancient donut arts, he actually started creating stuff for the game. Like a signal emitter, a portal, a gun, some VFX, the player character, he calls it Guy, and our beloved enemy, the Robodog. His goal was to give everything a chunky mechanical style. Unfortunately, we're using an orthographic camera.
Yes, we do.
Which kind of flattens everything out. In one of the Twitch streams, people were trying to guess what the enemies were, and the best guess we got was...
What is this enemy though? It looks like a red toilet a little bit.
Nani? Sorry boats, they actually look really good in close up.
Alright. Let's see what we got here. Okay, some laser signals. Oh, so you're stronger when you stand near it. Wait, is this supposed to be a reflector or something? What is this, bro? Well, I think I know who made this level. I don't need any communication to know that. Alright, let's think. I feel like the signal mechanic is kinda one-dimensional right now. You kinda just stand here and shoot. I wanna make the player think. Maybe we do something with this reflector? Wait, if the player could bounce the signal around the map, that could be interesting. But how would that even work? Because the signal would have to bounce in all directions. Oh, we could do something like this. And then figure out the reflections later? Sounds like a plan. Okay, so it's kinda working. Wait, no. Okay, here we go. I'm basically shooting rays in a circle to see how far the signal can go and then turning that into a mesh. I've also made it subdivide whenever it hits a corner so that it looks smooth and sexy. Oh yeah. So smooth. Next was figuring out the reflections. The problem with that is that sometimes only part of the signal hits the mirror, and you can even have freaky stuff like this. So what I decided to do was save all the points that hit the mirror and then group them together. Then I could just run the mesh generation code for each of these groups. And bada beam bada boom, we got light, baby. I quickly slapped a shader on it and it was starting to feel kinda tasty.
Nice.
Okay, so that took what? Wait, it's been 8 hours? So I don't know about you, but this game is starting to feel a bit puzzly. And you know what every puzzle needs? Doors and switches, baby. I've made it so you have to shine a signal onto these circle things to open the doors. And I also made these moving enemies that only activate when they have signal, which could be interesting. Then I realized we still need a way for the player to place these reflectors. So I started adding an inventory system. Until I realized I freaking hated this Unity UI shenanigans. So I promptly threw everything into a heavy-duty double-shaft industrial waste shredder to get rid of the evidence, and started from scratch. This time I just made the reflectors already placed in the map, so you can just pick up and move them. Simple. Finally, I made some example levels that showcase the new mechanics, so hopefully the next dev can figure out what to do with them.
Alright, I'm back. Let's fire up the game scene. I'm very excited. Wait, what the heck? This is a different game. Where are the circular levels, man? Nothing's tied to proximity now. And the weapon's disabled? We have a building phase now. I can't even move my character. I can only place and move blocks. This whole reflection mechanic is really cool though. How did he even... Wow. It's gonna take a lot of deciphering. Stop. I have an idea. Okay, so Mark had this mechanic where your signal is boosted the more zones you're overlapping with. I think we can change that so it's based on both overlapping and proximity. Alright, you know what? I'm going to remove this building phase shenanigans and make the player move objects in real time.
Box, come to my hand.
Honestly, this is kind of coming together. Alright, I have 3 hours left and I'm... So I'll just design some levels. And maybe take a break from coding. Time to make some music. Alright, that's a good main menu theme. And that's perfect for the gameplay. I even made it so when you're out of the signal zones, the music is muffled. And in my final hour, I made SFX for pretty much everything I could think of.
So, after a weekend of camping out of town, now I'm back at my PC and I'm totally ready. Totally ready to start. Let's go. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Can't wait to see it. Ooh, fancy. Oh, nice. Whoa. Well, considering that the game is almost done, I need to be surgical here. I need to polish everything I deem necessary without ever touching anything that's already done.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I saw the main menu. Honestly, I didn't like it, so I'm redoing it from scratch.
Sorry, boats.
Nice, now it's more like it. So, polish, polish, polish. What should I do? What should I do? Alright, the receiver. The receiver is still a capsule, so I quickly modeled it, added materials and animated it. Nice! Next, I noticed a severe lack of feedbacks and VFX, so I think I'll focus on this. Nice! Now everything has VFX. Well, not everything. Yeah, the key is still very rough. It's a potato. So, quickly reworking the key, let's just add the particle when it goes into the keyhole and add some indicators to count how many keys are needed. Okay, what are we missing here? Alright, the saw blade. At the moment it's just a collection of cubes, so let's quickly model it, ship it. Oh, fancy! And now, damn it, it's already time! Luckily, we are in for the final 3 hours. We go all out, all hands on deck. Will be fun, right? Right?
Final hours. We all jumped on a Discord call. We started shouting at each other about bugs. I was extremely tired at this point, so I left the hard work to the others and focused more on polishing. They squashed bugs, made new levels, and playtested them. We were also discussing what to call the game, and we landed on Router Wilds. Aaron quickly created a logo for the game, and BAM! Submitted! This is a pretty cool game! I honestly didn't expect it to end up this polished. We even got very positive feedback on the Jam website. You can find a link to the game in the description. After the Jam, we talked about how it felt to do this challenge. Overall, everyone was positive, but we agreed it might be better next time to have a short joint brainstorming session at the start. If any of you out there are thinking, I'd be interested in this challenge if it was a proper game jam format, I have some news for you. This whole thing was kind of an experiment for us. We actually run a game jam called Down to Jam twice a year. It's not hosted on itch. We have our own website, d2jam.com. That lets us add unique features that other game jams don't have. So now, we're considering adding a hot potato challenge as an extra jam format. We'll be experimenting more to turn it into a robust system. So, if that sounds fun, join our Discord to stay tuned. Until next time, potatoes out.